Welcome to today's Explainer. It's August 4th, 2026, and we're jumping straight into the absolute tug-of-war that is currently paralyzing the crypto market. Think of it like a giant, multi-front comic book showdown, and we're going to break down every single clash using the latest market data. Right now, Bitcoin is literally trapped. It's stuck in this incredibly narrow, suffocating consolidation range right between $63,000 and $63,800. Intraday volatility? Gone. Volume? Way down. It's basically a sideways grind, and the momentum is just, well, it's undeniably weak. So, that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? With all these positive macro signals flashing around us, what exactly is keeping this usually vibrant market completely pinned down? I mean, treasury yields are dropping, the Nasdaq is climbing. These are classic, textbook signals that should be launching risk assets like Bitcoin straight up. And yet, here we are, totally stuck below 64K. Let's look at the August market clash and the opposing forces in crypto. We're basically watching a collision of two completely different realities right now. On one hand, we've got macroeconomic tailwinds giving us a beautiful setup, easing yields, strong tech performance. But then, on the other hand, we have these heavy bearish realities dragging us down from the inside. Think massive security exploits and huge institutional liquidations. It is a perfect, absolute stalemate. Let's start with SpaceX and geopolitical easing, or what we might call the forces of light in this market battle. First up, we have the sheer potential of the Musk ecosystem. Today's SpaceX Q2 earnings are a massive potential catalyst. Everyone is laser-focused on Starlink's cash flow, and more importantly, are we going to see any hints of crypto payment integration? If that drops, it could absolutely ignite Doge and other Musk-themed tokens. Plus, strong results could lift the whole DePIN sector. That's the decentralized physical infrastructure networks, giving a huge boost to decentralized compute power. Simultaneously, we're seeing some critical geopolitical shifts. Reports indicate President Trump is holding talks with Iran today about the Strait of Hormuz and nuclear negotiations. From a pure market perspective, this easing is a big deal. If an agreement is reached, it drives down oil prices. That directly reduces those terrifying stagflation fears that usually crush risk assets. And when those fears drop, broader risk appetite recovers. But fighting against that is the Coldcard security crisis, the forces of darkness. Entering its fifth day, the Coldcard hardware wallet exploit has resulted in confirmed losses topping a staggering $114 million. That's a huge, devastating blow, and it is actively rattling the entire market's confidence in self-custody and cold storage to its absolute core. The crucial takeaway for us here is what the analysts are saying. They're noting that this hack is literally overriding the best macro tape of the recovery. It's acting like this heavy, wet blanket, totally smothering the positive momentum from tech earnings and easing oil prices. It is single-handedly preventing Bitcoin from riding the wave of dropping treasury yields. Moving on to the Clarity Act Senate countdown, the ticking clock. So the odds of the highly anticipated Clarity Act actually passing? They've completely plummeted to roughly 30%. Why? We're seeing intense partisan gridlock over ethics restrictions. This legislation is widely considered the most consequential crypto market structure bill in U.S. history. But with both sides struggling to reach a compromise, the likelihood of a legislative unlock is fading really fast. The pressure right now is all about the timeline. After some solid progress back in July, we are totally down to the wire with this last-minute ethics maneuvering today, August 4th. The clock completely runs out on August 7th for the Senate recess deadline. Time is literally up to pass this before lawmakers head out of town. Now, if this bill stalls out, it creates an immediate shockwave of uncertainty. Major altcoins, specifically Solana, XRP, and Cardano, have been heavily anticipating a compliance amnesty from this bill. Analysts are warning that a delay here could trigger a fast, negative knee-jerk reaction for these altcoins. It could cause a massive capital rotation right back into the perceived safety of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Next up, institutional sell-side pressure and heavy liquidations. Reports just out today indicate that Strategy has dumped $104 million in Bitcoin. And get this, that's for the second consecutive week. This is dropping some massive direct sell-side pressure straight into the market. But wait, it gets heavier. It isn't just Strategy. Italy's largest bank, Intesa Sanpaolo, has aggressively slashed its BlackRock Bitcoin ETF stake by a mind-blowing 94%. When you combine all these heavy institutional liquidations, well, it's pretty much the primary reason Bitcoin's momentum is just so incredibly weak right now. Finally, let's hit retail relief and new listings, the climax of this market clash. So, looking for some good news? Binance Alpha's listing of the Squid token today is actually providing a nice little liquidity injection for specific retail segments. It's featuring an airdrop for Alpha points holders. While it's definitely a localized event, it shows that even though the broader market is stuck, there are still these vibrant pockets of active retail participation functioning perfectly well. And this perfectly captures the broader sentiment right now. As researchers from ARP Digital pointed out today, the market stopped participating, not selling hard. Aside from those institutional liquidations we talked about, the average retail investor really hasn't panicked. They've just kind of stepped back from the battlefield, grabbing some popcorn and waiting to see who actually wins this tug of war. So, as this epic tug of war continues to rage on, you've got to ask yourself, which side of this battlefield is ultimately going to pull the market out of its range? Will the ticking clock of the Clarity Act and the heavy gravity of that Coldcard hack pull us down? Or will SpaceX's momentum and easing global tensions drag Bitcoin out of the trenches and higher? Keep your eyes glued to the data, because when this stalemate finally breaks, the resulting move is going to be absolutely explosive. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and stay curious.